Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
And this is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is Dope, 2015. It's almost 10 years old, soon enough. Still want to give everyone a spoiler warning before we get into it.
And we like to provide a little summary of the movie before we start watching it. And so here it goes. Dope is a vibrant coming of age comedy drama that follows Malcolm, a geeky high school senior with a passion for 90s hip hop culture and dreams of attending Harvard. Living in a rough neighborhood in Inglewood, California, Malcolm navigates life with his friends Jib and Diggy, avoiding the pitfalls of their challenging environment. The trio's lives take an unexpected turn when Malcolm inadvertently becomes entangled in a drug dealer's business, leading to a wild adventure filled with humor, self discovery, and a quest to stay true to oneself. Directed by Rick, the film blends nostalgia, contemporary issues, and a lively soundtrack to create a unique and entertaining experience. And this is Dope and also Dear White People, which we did last episode. Both have turned into TV series, right?
Dope. No, Dope isn't a TV series.
No, I totally thought Dope turned into a TV series.
It would be cool as a TV series, but no, only Dear White People.
It does seem like it would be a good TV series, I think.
Yeah. Just to follow him, like maybe through college, his first year, adjusting from being in Inglewood and all the nonsense he did his senior year, and see how he like transitions to college and yeah, if he thrives or not in Harvard because he's a Harvard man now.
Yeah, and also if that like head drug dealer that gets him
Oh
into
yeah,
Harvard, or like sort of like helps get him into Harvard, comes
yeah.
back and like, hey, you did this for me and stuff.
Like I know what you did. The whole Bitcoin that was cool. So I remember watching this in college or like towards the end of college, and I knew of Bitcoin, but didn't know enough about it. So now watching it and hearing how they were like, "Oh, I bought you this much Bitcoin," and just thinking about how much that would be now is insane.
And it's funny because like their style and their getup really, like, I was like, when did Bitcoin come out? Like, because it
Yeah,
was like that. I was like, is this a '90s like themed movie? And then he was talking about Bitcoin, and I'm like, I was confused for a moment, but then it's like, yeah, it's like the 20 teens
they're
and stuff,
stuck.
and
Yeah, they're stuck in the
yeah.
past
It's when Bitcoin was like, oh, I can buy like something with like 0.001% of a Bitcoin and
of a
stuff.
Bitcoin.
Now
Yeah,
like Bitcoin's like crazy expensive
yeah.
and stuff. Interesting. What did you think about this movie? This I feel like this was a fun, wild ride.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I'd seen it. Like I'll watch it every so often, like every couple of years. I can't say every so often. So I watched it when it first came out. I loved it. Just the style of the characters and seeing a black character that's like nerdy and into books, but also into cartoons and comics and hip hop. So it was
Or
right
or
in my
punk.
wheelhouse. I was like, this is me in a movie. So I loved it. And then watching it again after so long, I still was like, I'm still really into this film.
I really like the understanding that like they're like almost a counterculture within their own culture and stuff, right? Where
Yeah,
it's like I want to go against the grain of like, yes, I'm a black individual, but I like punk, I like all this stuff, I like
yeah.
skateboarding, I like getting good grades. Like some of their music is that like good grades is cool.
It was like Lionel. It was like Lionel Higgins in Dear White People. Like he's a
True.
black man, but he just never fit in with blacks, or he never felt like he found his like clique of blacks to be around. And
True.
this was like uh, Malcolm had his crew, unlike Lionel, but he still wasn't the typical black.
Yeah, I definitely get it. Where it's like, I think this was like it was like Lionel's movie, but front and center. Where you
Yeah,
wanted more Lionel probably from Dear White People, where this is like everything Lionel, or this is now Malcolm and stuff in
Malcolm.
it.
Yeah,
And I think it was perfect because also the supporting characters are great
yeah,
and everything. Like even like what's his name, Dom. That's ASAP Rocky, right?
yeah.
Okay.
That's ASAP. Yeah,
And then one of his buddies is Vince Staples, right?
yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
I
the
was like,
cool thing. Like the last two movies we've watched, I can't even say last two. Like all the movies we've watched for this month, I forgot to touch on it. This is still our Black movie month, February. We have one last movie after this, but to watch Spike Lee do the right thing and see all the actors and actresses that came out of that are now prominent actors and actresses, and they started off probably early in their career in that, and then to watch Dear White People, similar situation with probably at the time they were lesser known actors and actresses, but now they're prominent names. Same thing with this. You see the Vince Staples, the ASAP Rockies, the Zoe Kravitz. I don't know Malcolm's real name. I don't want to butcher that man's name, but he's
he's Spider
Miles
Man.
Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Black Spider Man. Yeah, and then
And then
his
Flash Gordon,
his
right?
friend, yeah, Flash Gordon, and then his female friend too. She's well known. I don't want to mess up her name either, but yeah, they're all like almost everybody in that film is well known now. Oh, I don't know if you caught it. The drug dealer. Uh, yeah, he's from Doing the Right Thing.
Yeah, that I looked up the movie
Yeah,
after I was done with Dope and everything, and I went through like the cast and everything. I was like, oh, that guy's from Do the Right Thing too.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But he actually was able to speak in his
Yeah,
actual voice this
yeah.
time.
But yeah, like seeing like the beginnings of individuals,
Yeah,
and it's nice when you see that. You see that in TV shows where like, oh, this is like their first like TV appearance, and then they moved on to like be like big acting or actor, kind of having that acting career and stuff. And so seeing this now, like this dude that played Malcolm is now the like like you said, he's the Black Spider-Man.
yeah,
He's the voice of Spider-Man.
yeah. What'd you think of like the flow or like how the story played out?
Towards the end, when it was all said and done, I was like, this is almost like like a heist movie,
Mm,
like a Ocean's 11
yeah,
kind of esque, where it's like, oh, everything happened because I was trying to screw you over, and there was that like hidden plot. And it's like you kind of assumed, I guess, afterwards. You're like, oh, I wasn't dumb enough to not assume that,
yeah,
but I was shocked. I was like, holy crap! Like he screwed him over and everything, and
yeah,
kind of like held him by the balls and stuff. And was like, oh, you're gonna do everything in your power to get me into Harvard. And I enjoyed that a little bits. I was like where it was kind of slow in the beginning and stuff. Like you kind of
or
had a
like the
lot where
build
it's
up.
like, yeah, the build up and everything.
Yeah.
But once they kind of got that, like, sadly, the exciting part of selling the drugs.
After the party got shot up, shit.
Basically, yeah. But once you kind of got to all that stuff, it picked up.
Yeah,
And it was like once you kind of got to that satisfying, it was a very satisfying end where it was like, oh, cool, like that guy got his due and everything, and he did his thing, and he did it the way he wanted to do it,
yeah.
and he did it like the nerdy way by selling online and stuff.
Collecting Bitcoin for this man.
Right?
I
I don't know
did. I
what about
forgot.
you?
I enjoyed it. I think, like you were saying, it kind of started a little slow, um, but once it kind of picked up, it was all over the place. Like it was off and running. I, we forgot to mention Lakeith Stanfield. He's in it. He was one of the gang members. He was the main gang member from the school. So
The
he's
big dude,
in.
the guy that's like chasing after him from the El Camino.
Yeah, the one that stole his shoe.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
he's
He's
in a bunch
he.
of shit
What
now.
other movies and shows he's
He's
in?
in Haunted Mansion, the new Haunted Mansion. He's in
Yeah,
ATL with Donald Glover. He's a bunch of stuff.
that's true.
The Book
He's
of
in everything.
Clarence
Yeah,
now.
yeah. The moment you see him, you're like, oh, I've seen that guy before now.
Yeah, him, and then the drug dealer's kids. I like that reveal. I like the reveal of meeting the kids of the drug dealer, but they didn't realize it was his kids initially. But they're both at least decently known celebrities. The daughter that was all over the place, just wilding out. She's a model.
Is she
And
okay? I was like, man, that like
yeah,
That throw up scene was
She was
disgusting.
doing too much, man. I enjoyed that. Might have been my favorite like portion of the film, like when they met those two, and the brother was trying to be everything but a rich kid, shot himself in the leg, and then the sister just doing the most.
I think my favorite character, and it's funny because it's Blake from
Oh
from
yeah,
Workaholics,
workaholics.
where it's like he's trying so hard to be one of the people and everything.
He's just doing. He's saying the N word. He's doing coke. Like, come on, man, Uncle
and
Blazer.
he's the one that first interacted with the daughter, right? It's
Yeah,
like he's the one that like showed her how to like do it on MNDA, whatever, however you say that, and like his character was hilarious and stuff, and it's like funny how they met him too at band camp and everything. I don't know. I think for me, the biggest standout is the music, the
yeah,
'90s appeal. I was thinking back. I was like, we were watching stuff from the '90s. I was like, fashion back then was pretty cool. Like it,
yeah.
and I think they like showed the good parts of '90s fashions with how they dressed up.
Oh, for sure.
But
Because '90s they had some wild shit.
yeah, they had some crazy stuff and
They
everything.
had
But
people
I
wearing
think that
like,
was like the nostalgia of all that stuff was the most appealing thing to me.
yeah, they were like backpack hip hoppers. So like the Tribe Called Quest style of rap. They weren't doing the Wu Tang baggy
True,
jeans, baggy
right?
hoodies. Or no, they were doing a little bit of neon. They found the right niche of '90s hip hop.
I think so. Yeah. Do you see anything wrong with this movie, like or like you would improve or try to improve?
The only thing I had in my notes was the party scene. Like the party scene, like the slow mo was, it was a
Oh
little
yeah, I
off.
like that. I liked it.
Really? Yeah, I thought it was too like, it felt too slow. I thought they could have done better.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. Where it's like you kind of want like those slow mo scenes from like Griselda, where it's like almost
Yeah,
like snapshots of like them kind of doing stuff and everything.
like
It's
some
not
hangover shit.
necessarily. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I get that. Where it's like I don't know, like I feel like the editing in that where it was like I was like it's pretty nice to kind of see from like one point of view, then it snaps to like one other point of view and stuff and all that, and then it's like slow mo where he sees the chick Zoe Kravitz and stuff, and
yeah.
like everyone slows down and or his mind slows down basically.
That's
Like
always a
Patty
funny.
immediately
Like,
was like, man, Zoe Kravitz has like never like aged. Like she looks
oh
exactly
yeah,
the same.
yeah, because she's like mid to late 30s now. She still looks like she did in that film, and she was probably like in her early 20s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't get
But
it. Fountain of youth, man. Fountain of youth.
I don't know. I feel like yeah, I feel like the early pacing where you kind
Mm,
of felt how long the movie is going to be until it starts to pick up. I think for me,
yeah.
you said like the the party sequence was kind of where it started. For me, it
Mm,
was like when they kind of like opened up the online store for their business, and they're like
okay.
showing how they're like selling stuff from the classroom and how they package it and everything, and they're
Yeah.
freaking out. So like that's where, and that's like halfway through.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it builds up a little slow to that, but I think you it's nice to have the exposition of like, oh, there's like they're cool with the '90s culture. They like enjoy this stuff, and you kind of like have to meet Dom and all this stuff, and so it was pretty interesting with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, no, I was saying I had a great time watching it.
Yeah,
But like you said, there was some build up, and once the build up got to that point, it was like, okay, cool. This is flowing well.
I think so, and it ends fairly well. I like his like kind of poetic ending where it's like kind of showing us the like his essay is like if I look like this, would you even
Yeah.
have to ask this question to me and stuff?
I remember when I first watched this, I loved that ending because he was just typing. Like for him just to delete everything, the only thing I question is like, how quickly did he write that? because it seemed like he was about to turn in his essay, and then he's like, "Nah, let me rewrite this whole thing," and he like plowed through and wrote something, but there's no way he did that in a couple of hours.
Well, remember the SAT? Like you had to like write a whole essay in like half an hour.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And
And he
I was like
pieced out
pen
right
and
before it
paper, pencil
started.
and paper.
That was the dumbest shit. Like, that was the dumbest thing in the world, man. I didn't even take
Now
the ACT. I just took the SAT, and I
I
was
took
like,
the
"This
SAT.
is
I didn't take no
stupid."
ACT and everything. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy long, and then you're like,
Hmm.
I don't know how I'm gonna finish all this in like the 3 hours I'm supposed to be sitting here.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like you take it on the weekends and you end up going to the same like your same high school. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm back at school for this
You go to your
Saturday,
class and you're like, "This is super weird."
right?
There's like no lunch. They're like, "Oh, you can have a snack." It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want a snack. I'm in a test.
Now, who would you recommend this movie to if you did?
Ooh. I think anybody, like, we probably say that all the time for a decent amount of these movies, but this is one. It has that '90s uh, rom com Ferris Bueller kind of feel to it, um, and it's just a fun ride. So I think anybody would be into this.
I think so. I think that's a good kind of like it is like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Even
Yeah,
though this goes on for like a couple months, I guess, or something. I don't know how long it goes on, but yeah, it does feel like that. Where like there's like this endless antics of stuff, but then it's like this elevated antics of like this guy if he gets caught with all this crap,
he's his life is
he's
over.
he's done. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we need to.
I think definitely like younger people, or
Yeah,
like people our age. I can see the nostalgia of the '90s. Like we grew up throughout the '90s and stuff, and so we saw that. So there's that nostalgia to it, but I think also young people now will enjoy this.
yeah,
I
because
don't know
that
my parents. I
'90s.
don't know my parents be like, okay, it's just like a. It's the. I can see my dad being like, oh, this is like this is Friday. Like I would watch Friday than this and stuff. I don't know,
Yeah,
but like I can see where like my parents would be like, oh, okay, like it's fun and stuff. But I can see younger people liking this more.
I can see that too, because that '90s and like early 2000s style is coming back.
Yeah,
So I could definitely see people younger than us being like, "Oh my goodness, the nostalgia! This is so cool."
and
And
then
we're like, "Oh,
going
we
to
lived
like
through that."
record stores and stuff and picking up LPs on
Oh yeah,
vinyl. So it's like that's in style nowadays and all that. So I think yeah, definitely that people want to like recapture that '90s feel, but or the people that are like actually experiencing the '90s right now,
yeah.
like re-experiencing it basically, would enjoy this. Now, what'd you end up rating this movie? I think we ended up giving it the same thing.
4. I think we did. I think I
Four?
gave it like a 4, 4.5.
No, I think I gave it a 3.5.
Really? Did I?
Yeah,
Where's my phone at?
I'm
It's been a
checking.
few days since I watched it, so I might not have. I
I
don't
gave
really
it a
remember.
3.5.
Did I give it a 3.5? Oh, I did give it a 3.5. Sorry.
I think it's like a fun ride. Like there's the story is poignant and everything, but it's like
Yeah,
it's not gonna like oh like I'm gonna vote this as like the best story of the year and stuff. Like it's like you said, I think you put it very well. Where it's like it's a Ferris Bueller's Day Off type of deal.
yeah. It's one of those films you can watch every so often, and you can still find an enjoyment.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, Kai, you want to take us out?
yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week with another one. And please like and subscribe to Saturday Night Popcorn on YouTube for more podcasts like these going forward.